Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you can see, if you are joining later, or as you can see if you're looking live right now, we've got circled Dominic Robinson here. I'm going to clear him off, make sure we've got everything ready to go, and go back to the zoomed out look. We're going to look at him from his first year really starting as defensive end, and then into this most recent year. We've only got 2 games to look at, and I know the tape's been used elsewhere. It's the same tape that was made available to me at the time, so just going to circle him up here so you can see who we're talking about. There's Dominique Robinson, and this is, I want you to bear in mind that what we're looking at here is really the difference between what he showed on this particular year and the way he progresses. So, you know, bear that in mind, that we're not just talking about what we're looking at right now, but we're also talking about what his progression looks like in the future. So we're going to do that, and without further ado, we'll just get straight into it. So we're just going to play away. Okay, so you can see him there on the edge. Obviously in the gun you've got a wing to this side, so wing back to that side. In terms of Buffalo's line is actually pretty good, all things considered. Miami over high. So you can see in terms of snaps, so he starts off 4-point, which we see quite a lot with him in terms of the way that he plays and the way that he was set up. But we're going to see a lot of differences between what we're seeing right now and then what we actually see in terms of the progression of his techniques, because at first he's very, very raw, and I want you to bear that in mind. So obviously you can see it's very obviously a pass set straight away. So what's his pass rush run? What's his pass sort of plan here? We can see the halfback checks the inside and then goes out. So it looks to me, with the linebackers are basically dropping to depth. So you've got sort of zone under and 3 deep, which is here. So it looks to me he's actually got sort of a dual responsibility with the back. So okay, so let's see what he does with that. And you can see quite clearly he's sort of dropping out there with the back rather than just straightforward rushing. Ball goes, and what I want you to see here, and this is something you'll see consistently on his tape, is hustle. You know, the hits principle that Eberflus keeps talking about. You see it all the time with his. So bear in mind where we're looking at. That's what, about 18 yards approximately. So he's having to go straight away to this. And you see his hustle. So in terms of his get off the snap, a little bit delayed, a little bit slow. This is obviously year 1 of him actually getting some playing time as defensive end. Was a quarterback in high school, went as an athlete, turned into wide receiver. Didn't get enough playing time there, and obviously then progressed to be defensive end. So that's him in terms of watching here again. So you see him pointing out sort of the 2 wide receivers going to that side. You see some communication from the linebackers in terms of his get off, and you can see the left tackle calling protection there. So going out, and again, it's just widening the pass set there. It's more of a sort of a contain with the QB and the halfback there. Halfback comes out, you see him sort of pause just in case it's a dump off. Ball goes middle of the field, he turns, starts chasing. So this hustle is something I wanted to get on the tape very early, because you actually see it. Where goes one? Thank you for joining me live. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. So second play, again you're going to see him. This time he's at the top of the line of scrimmage here. He's at right defensive end again. So again, let's see what we get. So motion goes across. You see the linebackers shift. We know it's some sort of zone under. None of the defense actually move. The defensive line doesn't shift at all. So there's the mesh point there. You see the ball handoff. And what I like here is you're going to see it from the other angle. He's not just coming straight hell for leather down here. He's doing what he should do, which is squeeze and come down the line of scrimmage. So he's not getting too detached from his tackle, because he is the backside pursuit here. And what I like is you see him sort of go there. The ball, it pops out, and you see once the ball's popped out, the player's popped out the other side. Again, you wouldn't expect the backside pursuit to get anywhere near this. But running back breaks free of that tackle. Look at the hustle. Look at the hustle. This is a 254-pound man with a 41-inch vertical. Look at that hustle. That's an absolutely phenomenal play. I love this because it really does show you that he's got sort of fairly good technique in terms of sitting and squatting when it sort of zones away. So it's zone away from him rather than sort of chasing upfield to where the QB is going, watching the mesh point here with the halfback, and then squeeze in. So right, yeah, the temptation with someone who's raw is just, at this point, it's just to go and chase. You see his reaction. So instantly he starts following. Everyone's coming down. This is really good for someone who's really sort of raw at the position. And that hand out just to squeeze down, just in case the QB does pull, but he doesn't. He sees the ball's in the halfback's hands. Halfback makes a nice cut there inside, reads his blockers, gets through the arm tackle. Number 2 really doesn't break down very well or sit very well or get his ass low, which is why he gets sort of stuck dead feet. Nice little halfback cut there, little jump cut out of the tackle, little jump cut out of the tackle, makes him look silly. But look at Dominique Robinson here in terms of like effort and pursuit, and he even takes a little swing at the ball there with that right hand. It's very deliberate. They see a wide chop at the ball, doesn't quite get there, but takes the running back down when it could have been, him versus a cornerback, which nobody wants to see that running back on a cornerback sort of with 5 yards left to go. That's play number 2. This is all of the Buffalo tape is the first year of him starting, by the way, so just wanted to make that clear. Again, we're going to see him at the top of the screen. Just going to get into it. There he is. Let's see what we get. Okay, again, you get a zone away. Again, you see him squeeze the line of scrimmage. This time, has the QB pulled? It hasn't. So again, seeing him sort of chase down. But look at this now. This is the whole thing about this squeeze. Because when the running back, when that hole is clogged up here, and you see that penetration there is really good into the backfield, that's why he has to cut back. Once he does cut back past that, that is a hold, by the way. Once he does cut back past that, you're seeing the whole point of him crashing down, squeezing down, doing that. And this is the thing with his length and his athleticism. That 41-inch vertical, you're seeing the 41-inch vertical right there. Great stuff. Again, this is where we're looking. Watching his technique. For a guy who is basically completely raw at the position. So again, nice reaction. The tackle's really going away from him, sort of trying to get him to 93, that double, and then get down to number 3, the linebacker. Well, you see him squeezing down the hand on the sort of the backside pursuit, watching the QB again. Same thing as we saw last time. Instead of having to chase downfield, though, he's crashing down the line of scrimmage, making the tackle. So great stuff, Dominique Robinson. And he improved again from what we see in this tape at the Senior Bowl. So quite clearly, he's shown that he can take coaching really, really well, which is encouraging to see because, once he gets that rawness of his technique, and again, we're going to sort of see him here. This is him there. So again, nice position, nice core position, nice flat back in terms of the position there. Not kind of round over as we see there a little bit, not kind of shoulders up and, ass down to get his head up. He's able to keep his head up. This is his athleticism. He's able to keep his head up, his back flat, and then coiled that position there, which is how he gets his explosion off the line of scrimmage. So again, we're going to watch sort of off the snap. This time he's play side. So okay, let's see how he gets on play side. 73 kind of gets the better of him to start with, but the length kind of keeps him free and squeezing down and basically throwing his body into here because, again, the technique, he hasn't broken free of that. He's done no handwork at all, but he's just basically throwing his body into the hole. And that's how he ends up making the tackle here. This disengage that we saw here on this tackle, very raw in this, and I want to sort of show that in the first year that his disengage wasn't particularly great, but in his second year last year, his disengage is much better. So you can see outside zone, step by 73, gets the outside of the shoulders, head play side. He's looking inside here. You can see him sort of watching that inside, but that's really his gap here, is the outside linebacker to fill here. And again, this is the rawness that we're seeing in the position. Again, just basically, that's just hip torque and core strength. To literally go from there to throw himself outside. He's being held by 73 at that point, quite clearly. Gets in on the tackle, throws his body at the play, basically. So, this whole thing about sort of rawness, yeah, he's raw because he doesn't swap those hands down and clear the hands off his body. But then that functional strength as a lighter man, he's giving away 40 pounds here to that offensive tackle. Uses that core strength, that planted foot there, right foot, throws himself to the outside, just throwing his body into the hole, basically. So it's good stuff. Alex, nice to see you, mate. Good to have you on board. Always good to see you. And yeah, by all means, catch it later and share it if you want to. I'm guessing from the lack of comments in chat that you can actually hear me today, so that's always a good start. So, year 2 at the position, and we're going to see a little bit more refinement in his technique, and we're up against a better team here. This is Cincinnati. So, again, here, there is, again, you see the difference in the sort of, he was sort of even foot sort of that 40-point stance, you'd call it, 4-point stance, more of a 4-point stance. But here you see him more of a sort of a split set, sprinter set stance. That again, outside hand, inside hand is down, not outside hand. But it's just basically his running stunt. So there he is sort of trying to clear behind the two. And again, you know, it's just basically crashing down to try and get past the guard here. Gets into it, ball comes out. Okay, so what's happening now? Ball comes out, there he is. And we're going to see him, running back gets free again. Okay, is the play over? Is it dead? No, he's not. The running back's still up. Okay, so the running back's going to try and break out. Look who's there. You want to talk about Hicks principle? Look at who's the only guy hustling here. Just it's the difference is marked. It's significant. It really does show up on the tape. And this is, I love his enthusiasm. And again, we've got more bit of a better set here. You know, in terms of what we're looking at, in terms of his body position and his ability to be a sort of slightly wider technique here. You can see the confidence is growing in his actual ability, his technical ability. What I think is supposed to happen here is you're supposed to get that and he's supposed to loop around the outside of the centre, but this twist here doesn't really get the guard or centre moving. I think they actually catch feet there. Yeah, he just catches his feet and he's on his way down. I think he's actually supposed to twist around the back of that, and this is supposed to take both of these guys. But it doesn't end up... This is sort of that Aaron Donald stunt. So basically, Aaron Donald would be here, for example, on this. And what they tend to do is you get like a twist, crash down for these two. That comes there, and then you loop around Aaron Donald, and he's the one coming at the middle. There's that kind of Rams twist, double twist up front. But again, you know, from being there, that's where he is. That's where the ball is. That's a running back. He's not a slouch. You know, look at the hustle, and you see him come on screen. You know, he's still in bounds. Do you see him? He's not whistled yet. So, and there's Dominic coming in. And again, the explosion into contact. You want to see sort of, you talk about explosion. 1 foot on the floor. Look at him now generate all that speed and contact. That's a good hit, man. That's solid stuff. So it's encouraging to see, you know, that his improvement year 1 to year 2 at the position. Again, refinement. Again, here he is on the left-hand side this time. Got a bunch to this side, trips. You got two, I think you got, you've got one tight end here. So there's that motion coming across. Nothing happening up front again, which seems to be a consistent theme. You see a roll down. So again, on the outside, and quite clearly he's got outside contain here. You see the technique. Basically, he's shooting to the outside, using his length now much, much better than in the first game. And look at that disengage. We talked about the violent hands to get rid of, once their hands are on you, he uses a nice push-pull here. So basically, I want to see the hands a little bit more inside. They're sort of outside of the shoulders, which, you know, is one thing. But look at the disengage. Look how clean he gets himself there to there. Gets himself completely clean. Yeah, a backside pursuit again. Look at him chasing it down yet again. He's still around the ball when the ball goes down. But this is, I wanted to show here with this play, the difference in his ability to disengage between that Buffalo game to this game against Cincinnati. And again, he would have got tied up on the previous year here once he's got the hands there. But you see the difference now? Look at the length he's using there. The tackle can't get near him because he's got long arms. And he uses that with like a push, pull, get clear. And then he's got the speed to chase down the line of scrimmage and athleticism to get there. So yeah, he's not making a play here. But I like the fact that his ability to disengage is much better than we've previously seen. So here's Dominique again. You see sort of that heavy set this time. You know, bunched here, tight end there. So we've got two tight ends, split formation. Motion coming across to this side, making it the strong. So you see the wide receiver in motion. And it turns out to be like a pitch to the halfback. So and you quite clearly see, you know, 3 here, that's a bad sign with the safety coming over here as well for what is basically 2 men. That's a bad sign, 4 on 2. So now we've got sort of a, you know, it's all working for the offense here at this point. But again, watch Dominique. Everyone's zoning away. He's seeing the motion coming this way. He's staying true to his gap. So there, he's watching the QB. Okay, QB hasn't got it. Now he's located the halfback already. whereas previously he might have been half a step slower. And then just watch the pursuit. Here he is. Halfback's got through. Watch the pursuit. Still going, still going, still going, and there he is. We started at the 21-yard line. He's on the backside of this play. Hustle, 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 all the way down the field. And by far the only defensive lineman down there. It's going to pay dividends, this effort and this hustle. And again, here he is. Again, we're going to sort of see, halfback. Well, it's going to be halfback go this way, receiver come this way. And it's just a straight pitch there. You can see his head is on QB. We know the receiver hasn't got it. And then instantly, he goes from there, half plant. He hasn't even taken a step. He's seen the balls out. Much quicker recognition of what he's actually looking at. And then from here, at the 21-yard line, running back breaks free. Look at the effort. Watch him again, sort of kind of bending an arc a little bit. Should have been more of a straight line, but we're going to forgive him that because this effort, the only guys that are down there, as you can see, are Smurf numbers. So DBs, 11's kind of a Smurf number, but he doesn't look like a Smurf, does he? But again, his hustle, getting downfield, good stuff. Okay, so we're actually going to see a bit more of an actual pass rush. And this is actually a pretty good job here. So motion comes across, again, they just squeeze in and out of zone. You can see it's zone on the backside. Looks like cover. It's a cover 2 man. So again, it's a twist. So it's just it's a double twist. So there, here. So it's just a double twist. But look at the difference in the speed of getting to the line of scrimmage there between him and the other D end. They're running basically the same move. 95 gets off the ball quicker. Look how close to his ass he gets. Again, making physical contact, one shoulder driving, keeping the other hand free. Breaks free, getting held there, should be called. Okay, Ridder is getting, and you see, ref throws a flag, but I'm not sure this actually gets called here. No, it is. He's throwing it to where he's getting held, because that's a hold quite clearly there. But this is Ridder, that let's not forget. And again, look at the hustle, and he gets chipped in the back again. That's a clip. It's outside the tackle box. It gets hit in the back. That should be another penalty. That should be a 15-yarder. White hat's right there, but doesn't see it, apparently. There we go. Again, you'll sort of see here, it's just basically twist. And the difference is that's a 1 tech, that's a 3 tech. So really, for the similar gaps, probably, if we're being fair to this dude, he's a little bit wider. So that's possibly why he's a little bit slower to get to the gap. But again, look at Dominique. Look at the lack of wasted footwork here. Much, much better get off. All that push off the right leg, left foot forward, dig your toe in the ground. Look how low he is. Nice flat back. Shoulder into the player. Look at that disengage. You see him throw that right arm there. Right there. Throws the right arm because he's being held. Gets clear. Gets a hand up just in case the QB wants to throw it. He's got long arms, let's not forget. Quite clearly a hold. You can't get much more clear than that. And then Ridder takes off. Very mobile QB. Actually, I'm not sure that is Ridder. Number 9. Anyway, Dominic. And then 77, that's quite clearly a clip. Tackle box. You talk about tackle box. Here's where the tackle box is, guys. Anything outside of here can't hit in the back. But, escapes. That's quite clearly outside of that tackle box. That's quite clearly in the back. But anyway, he's chasing him. Gets very close. Runs out of bounds for a sack. So it's credited to him there. And it's a hold, but I think they actually took the hold. So here he is here. We're just going to whiz through these because we've got some larger Hicks to take a look at. Jeremy, thanks for your comment. I really appreciate it. Okay, so again, much better pass plan here because he knows the halfback's coming to the outside. So again, I think this is just basically an inside move. I think he's given free rein because he knows he's manned up here on the halfback. So again, it's understanding the understanding. So pushing the outside, push the outside because he knows he's a quicker man. Right foot plant to the inside, swat that hand down, sit, chop there, left hand, swim over. Beating him all day long. It's only because he's coming out so quick that he gets the ball off at all there, to be honest. But this is much, much better. Again, in terms of nuance and his ability to rush the passes. This is his second year at the position in limited play time. Let's not forget. Again, you're big on big here, so you know you've got big on big. Centre's going to turn to the right. They're running a twist that side. But again, watch this. Push to the outside. Tackle rather than vertical set. He pushes to the outside. Tackle moves with. He's traversing. So once he's traversing, he knows this gap is widening. Again, look at the hand play. That left hand, you see left hand to the elbow. If you're going to chop it down at the elbow, because then they're going to get a hold if they do get anything on you. And then that right hand on the back of the pad, that's a proper swim when you push down on the pad. You don't necessarily really want to reach for the waistband, but pushing down on the back of the pad gets you past them just as well. So again, good pass rush. And it's only because it's a very quick pass that he actually gets away with that at all. On the other side of the play this time, so again, you're getting sort of a late flood here with like a mesh to the halfback. And look how quick Dominic Robinson is here. And look, it's changed of direction there. This is a really mobile QB as well, guys. And the length, he's already got his arms on. It's only because he's got the ability to be able to sort of swing his arm. But that's a really good pass rush, deviation. So here he is. Pass rush, deviation, chase, close, finish. It's all there. So first of all, he's going upfield, sees everything going away. That's coming under. Looks at the mesh point. He's going inside. Okay, sees him pull the ball early. Okay, plant there. Get vertical. And he's already, because that length, got one hand around. And he just sidearms it away. It's just really good stuff. I mean, and like I say, if you watch him at the Senior Bowl, he improved again from where he is here. So it's good to see we've just seen that play. So play your gap and finish. I think that's actually Dominic there. So you can see it's like it's an over. So you got your 4 down linemen here with 2 up over. Actually, technically it's under because you got tight end to this side, so it's like a 4-3 under. But goal line. So again, we're watching more of the interior here, sort of on the inside of the tackle. Again, I like the fact that he's able to, he's a little bit high with his pads here. He doesn't really get good pop on him, but he gets himself clear and then plays gap. Responsibility quite clearly being held again. Chasing down, make the tackle. So, not a great start to it, but then gets free very, very quickly. Gets free of the block. Then sees the halfback not trying to make a move, comes up, finishes off. So, the linebacker shooting the gap does the job between guard and tackle. Slows the back down. Dominic Robinson comes in and clears up. Again, from here, you just see him here. So you're just going to see him sort of slant across. And again, look, I don't know if you can see this here, but just getting that hand on that side of the body, he's clearing himself through that gap. Gets himself clear. That's now a hold. Once he starts coming upfield, that turns into a hold. But, even then, the tackle can't stay with him for athleticism laterally. And he's left with hands on. Doesn't get called for the hold, but, at the end of the day, we'll take the tackle for a loss because comes in, clears up again. Watch him swing that right arm around to try and punch the ball right there. Takes him and drives his head into the ground. Nice stuff, man. It's good. It's good. Thanks, Medusa, man. Really appreciate your comments in the chat. If people watch the comments live when you're watching back, you can watch the comments as live as well. It's always great to have you engaging live when the videos are on, but no worries if you're watching it later. No problem at all. Again, I'm going to see him here, and then we've got a little bit of Elijah Hicks to show you as well, just as a bit of a bonus. So this time we've got an outside. Again, this number 72 is worried about the speed because he's set him wide, but this is much better technique now compared to year one. Look at him, he's basically levering that elbow, gets a hand to the face, gets the elbow lever in, dip and rips. You want to talk about Robert Quinn kind of angle, Robert Quinn around the edge kind of angle. This is what Robert Quinn does. He gets so low and wide there under the pads, the whole of the body and that length. It's really good stuff. And again, it's only because he just loses his feet just a little bit on the turf there. You just see that the marbles come up on the turf and he gets hit by his own guy, and that's the reason why he doesn't get the finish there. And they end up getting the ball fumbled through the back of the end zone. But again, this is what we're looking at. Let's watch him. Again, the technique is so much better than year one. So right there, you see this hand, the forklift, the lever, the Akeem Hicks elbow lever that we're talking about. Much, much better technique. And then you're talking about, Robert Quinn kind of dip. Once you're under and you get round the corner, there you are. I mean, that's a horrible position for a tackle to be in like that. And just see here, his right foot just there gives way, marbles come up. Just losing a bit of grip on the turf. And again, it's got that lower body strength, which he's got, why he's got a 41-inch vertical, or near as damn it 41 inches, why he's able to stay up. It's only his own guy that then takes him down. Otherwise, I fancy him to turn the corner and get a finish there. So, good stuff. I can see why they chose him, and the athleticism and the fact he's so raw at position, but then improved so much year on year, year one to year two, and then year two to year three. I think that was the last play. I think it was the last play of Dominic Robinson. We're going to be on to Elijah Hicks, who has been dealing with what's called a Jones fracture. It's where your pinky toe joins on the rest of your metatarsals. Yeah, we've seen that play. Let's go on to Elijah Hicks. The free safety, I think, he's set to be, but this guy is an absolute lined up predominantly as free safety for Cal, but played all over the place. And this is Nevada, a pretty decent team. There he is. You see him sort of closer to the line of scrimmage. You see, so he can play cornerback, he can play slot, and he can definitely play free safety. Here you see him as the cornerback on the outside. This is actually a tight end here, very, very athletic tight end at that. So he comes out again. Look, I love that he's not passive into contact. Tight end's coming to him. Okay, I'm going to make contact with you. Look at him shocking backwards, and this is already bouncing outside, and him shocking him backwards like that for basically a converted corner to safety. Yeah, he struggles to disengage at the very end, but and you see him celebrating there, and he's got every right to, because at the end of the day he forced this back in, and you're going to he's off screen at the moment, but that's the guy that's going to come out to try and block him. And again, 19 fancies chances, got a Smurf DB. Whoop, didn't expect that. He almost, if he just presses him with his hands here, he can sit him down on his ass. And he gets the better of him without a doubt. Much bigger, technically he should be stronger man. Shocks him backwards, gets the outside pursuit. The outside is no longer there. Running back tries to cut it back. Look, here comes the cavalry. Turning back into a defensive tackle is never a good idea for a running back. But, and again, he's probably getting a little bit held there. But Elijah is plays much bigger than his body suggests that he is. Here he is kind of man, I believe, again over the tight end. So they're in one high, and they play a lot of different zone coverages. So here we're going to sort of see crosses and under over. So it's designed, and it is man. But technically this is man. We're off, but it's man. So what you have to do is you have to get close, literally on the hip and in trail. So you sneak one hand around the back, and then you've got the play hand to go in front of the player. But the way he plays his coverage, see him closing the gap and getting underneath Dubs, the other wide receiver. and that's the reason why he's able to clear. Yeah, the ball gets thrown down the other sideline. Bit of a push off there by number 4 right there, and he doesn't come down with the ball in bounds anyway. But Elijah playing this crosser, and we're going to sort of see it come across over this way, and we're going to see the crosser from the other side. So you're going to get like that, which is designed to almost be like a natural rub against man, which they get. You know, and he's sort of seeing man on man with one high, so he's going to take that all day long. But that's Elijah in terms of, you know, you talk about blanketing a tight end, and this is a receiving tight end at that. That's literally step for step. You don't get much tighter than that in terms of coverage. That's really good stuff. So on we go. Elijah is here, and we're going to see basically a glorified swing pass. So there's the motion, and that's going to be the swing. Blockers off here, so you know you would think a swing to here with a bigger dude on the outside against the corner. You would fancy your chances. Elijah's got that sort of cover 2 kind of look, so he's got deep responsibility in case this is a deep pass. Bailing till he sees the QB's making the throw. Watch him plant, drive. So plant, drive. And bear in mind he's got 5, 10, 15, 20 yards to make up. Line of scrimmage is kind of across here. 20 yards to make up on what is basically a glorified bubble. The other guy's coming in, sees him cut back inside. You see he's not over pursuing because he's the safety. He knows he's the safety. He knows the linebacker's coming over. Okay, if he comes outside, I've got him. If he cuts back, I'm not over committing. That's why I love the deceleration here. Again, it's a very subtle point. But if you go hell for leather, because it looks like he's running here, if you go hell for leather here, this cutback happens and then you're in a real bad position. But because he decelerates just there, just slows up. Sees he cut back in, decelerates, makes a solid tackle. Yeah, they get sort of 7, 8 yards out of it, but it could have been a lot worse with that cutback. Again, Brother John Gray, thanks so much for your comment live. Really appreciate it. Just mentioning you in the chat because, you know, and there's Elijah. You can see him here. I was just saying at the start of this coverage, he had a Jones fracture, which is why he hasn't been practicing so far. It's about 6 to 8 weeks recovery for professional athletes to get back. The Jones fracture's in the foot. It's where the pinky toe joins on the rest of the foot, and it's very important, particularly for guys who have to, you know, turn and drive and things like that to get it right. He had surgery at the East West Shrine Bowl just that week. He's been rehabbing since. I know he's done workout videos and things since then. But and again, this is what I love. You know, long strides. You know, making the ground. Just sees him plant. Look, watch him settle his feet, not overrun it. Settles down, body position. You know, drop your hips first. Shoulder up, head up. Smaller man, you know, bigger guys tackling. Really good stuff. I love this guy as a player. I think he could be a legit starter. I really do. I think he's got that ability. So there's Elijah. Again, you see trips to this side. This really is he's got no rights making this play at all. First down and 10 to go. It's basically again going to be a bubble. Everyone's off, and they're going to go literally right at the sideline. They're in man, so you know, and he's the safety walking down at the end of the day. So he's seen walking down. They're all off. There goes the bubble. You see who's the first guy to react? First guy out of everybody to react. That tells you the guy watches tape. Now, it's just basically, it's to the outside guy. It's just a bubble to the outside guy. And they're in really good position. He's got a head start of about 4 or 5 yards of him here. And we've got traffic. Now that's a massive hold there. That's basically a tackle. And they don't get the flag despite the referee's 6 yards away. They don't get the flag. But anyway, Elijah basically says, right, okay, there's traffic. I'm just going to have to go airborne. He does. And then just gets a tap tackle there on the ankle as his friend on the outside cleans up. Again, you're going to see it here. The ball goes wide pretty quickly. There's Elijah. And you can see the distance he's got to make up, guys. That's a good 7-8 yards head start. You know, and there goes his man. Quite clearly a hold. Not called anyway. And then Elijah says, okay, well, there's traffic there. I've just got to get up and over it, get my foot in the ground, launch and inundate. You talk about effort to make a tackle here. He's basically doing a complete Superman there. He's completely flat, level to the ground like this, trying to make a tackle. And he does just sweep that that left foot there, pulls it into his heel, turns him around for his mate. His mate makes a tackle. So, really good stuff. And Elijah Hicks, literally every snap of the game, he's doing what he's supposed to be. I'm not cherry picking plays here. He's just, it's just a really good player. So here he is again. We've got sort of, they're trying to make it look man. Cal do run their coverage as well, but they don't particularly disguise a great deal of stuff. They run some different alignments. They play a lot of cover 1, a lot of cover 3. Okay. Well, that wasn't working, but so you can clearly see the sort of blitzes coming in, the slots that side, that sort of zone look. Again, he's in man here against this dude. There comes the halfback. Again, so first of all, he's thinking, I've got to play him a blocker, because it's quite clear it's going to go out here, but he goes out to play his blocker and then sees, well, actually, no, the halfback's just cutting back inside. I'll just keep him on position, maintain, and then come in and wrap up the legs. And he does. So there it comes. Because he's coming out wide to make a tackle, Elijah kind of comes out there. He's on that outside guy. There's Elijah out with his man blocker. He thinks, okay, he's going to bounce outside. Says, no, okay, well, it's not. So I don't need to go outside and play hand fighting with him. Comes in, gets involved. Again, see his head is on the front side of the hip. He tries to put his head on the ball. See his helmet is literally going on the elbow. He's got the ball in. So he's trying to pop it out with physical contact, but he's wrapping. You see him get both arms around. So it's actually a good form tackle. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Medusa Man. We can discuss that after. So there you go. Zone this time at the backside. It looks more like cover 2 pre-snaps. Let's have a quick look, see what we get. So it is cover 2 in fact it's cover 6 because that's man there. Cover 4 to this side, cover 2 to this side. But you see middle of the field, and again running there and then deviating there with that coming under. This is basically an isolation read on that backer. And middle of the field is supposed to be open, and it's coming to him. And the thing is, it's cover 2 technically in this part of the field. It's cover 2. Yes, it's cover 6 because you've got 2 there, man there. He's by far the quickest to react to that guy coming clear. I mean, this is this side of the field. Let's not forget. So really, this guy should be reacting more so, particularly with this guy sitting here and he's looking straight at it. But Elijah again. Third along, they convert, but again, first to react, solid tackle. So as you see him signalling there, something to do with coverage on the wrist, tapping the wrist, time. Dropping off. There goes the ball. And again, it's about driving on the ball. It's a bad throw really because it's a little bit behind him, but to be honest, if he doesn't put this ball behind him, Elijah's making a tackle. If he puts this ball here, it's a much bigger contact. Nice reaction and catch by that tight end again. And again, solid tackle by Elijah, but in position. This guy's on the deck, that's the other safety. Elijah, dependable as ever. So good stuff. So again, sort of cover 2 on the back end. I think that's Dubs to the middle. Doesn't get doesn't get taken in by the QB. Makes his read very early. To be fair, he's going size man on the outside, and he has it. Number 19. Look at Elijah here. You talk about going to playing the ball as a cover 2 safety. He very nearly picks this. DB wide receiver turns into a DB and then slams him into the wall afterwards, which is not great. But here comes Elijah. You just see him at the bottom of the screen here. I don't know if you can see him. That's where he is. Look where his eyes are, all the way, tracking the ball, just out of reach. And then gets pulled down and thrown into the water at the very end. But they don't get the flag, but that's what it is. It is what it is. So Elijah, I think, is here. So technically he's in man. Again, you watch him walk down, it's a crossing route, gets so sticky and close. So he's clearing this zone because he knows zone under. He's got to get close and sticky, which he does right there. Nice and close. Good coverage. Then the ball is swung wide, drops off his man. Okay, hustle, intensity, tenacity, smarts, all the rest of it. Chasing, cuts inside, cuts outside. And Elijah is the one that forces him out of bounds. So again, in terms of what do you want to see him do on this play, you want to see him in good coverage because he's rolling down, becoming a slot cornerback effectively here. Well, that is pretty close coverage. Right there. That's about as close as you can get it. And then the ball comes out and then he sits down and that's where he is when the ball's out. Look, there it is. Quite a way to go. And he's not even on screen at this point. And now he's coming on screen. There he is. Overtakes the other guys. Comes up, forces him out of bounds. That's Elijah right there. So his tape is like this throughout the vast majority of what I've seen since he was moved to safety, to be honest. Just a real good player. Here he is as a one high. So let's see how he does as a one high. In one high man, they're going to throw that all day, and that's wide side of the field because we're lining up over here. One high is literally where he's and again the efficiency of the footwork here: back pedal, flip, open, turn, traverse, push. Playing the ball, hustling over. And again, he's so close to meeting the ball and player at the same time here. That's from where he is, and he's got two go routes. At the end of the day, he's got to be able to flip to whichever side it is. He has to wait for the QB to throw the ball. So, okay, let's see when the QB's delivering. Okay, he's made his decision there where he's planted his feet. And again, neutral back pedal. Sees a QB looking over this way. Okay, but he could deceive me with his eyes. Once he plants that back foot and steps in, look where he's going. It's as quick as you can make that decision, that is. And then, in terms of hustle, that's pretty good hustle and a nice angle to the ball, to be honest. So again, watch we're going to see the one high. You just see his feet here. So he's pretty neutral. He's kind of hedging a little bit, but he's not even all the way into the middle of the hash there. So he's still over that side of the field. And there he is, middle of the logo now. So again, you can see his feet here. Neutral. Okay, flip in now because you see him setting. And then it's a quick release as well, so he doesn't have a lot of time to react. Look at the distance he has to make up at this point. Ball's coming about here, roughly here. Look at the distance he has to make here. Ball's in the air still. Okay, it's got there now, and he's step and a half away really. And receiver does the right thing by going down, but that's really good coverage by Elijah as a one high. And I think that is the end. That is the last play. So what we'll do is minimise that and we'll go to this one where we are just chatting. So thank you everyone for joining in. If you've watched it live or if you've joined afterwards, I really appreciate you being here. If you like the video, then please consider subscribing to the channel. If you like it and you want to comment on it, by all means. If you want to comment on social media, it's at Bearlissimo1 on Twitter. You can tag me if you want. I don't mind what you put. At the end of the day, the point of me doing this is to give you the benefit of the access to the tape that I've been given the benefit of, which has now been pulled away, but that's beside the point. Benefit of what I'm seeing, just talking through what I'm seeing. Obviously, you don't have to coincide with that. The whole point of this is to basically widen the perspective of what we're seeing from the players. So we've seen Dominic Robinson, QB at high school, converted wide receiver, converted to defensive end. Very raw in the first year, but showed a lot of